Well, it's time to talk about my VFL team for the next week. Unfortunately, I think this is the first time that I've had a bit of a disaster week. Okay? Made to do about something. My IGL lost 2-0 to Zeta Division. I'm sure any of you who have had double Paper X, and I'm sure a lot of you did have Paper X against Zeta Division, we've just all been absolutely destroyed. Right, and again, one of my top tips for VFL in general is you don't want your players to lose 2-0. A player can lose 2-1 and still do okay. Generally, when your team loses 2-0, you're not going to get a good score at all unless like they got a random ace, right? So, yeah, not great. Not great, and the double Paper X got me a combined 8 points, and I also IGL'd something. So, terrible. Zekan also, only 7. Didn't have a great game, despite, you know, a very easy, convincing win for Sentinels and overall. Just had a very quiet game, which sometimes happens, but whatever. Honestly, I'm lucky, and this is a lesson I would take away from this week, because I've seen some people, other people's teams as well, that had like 2G players on the bench. And yeah, it didn't go, it went well, right? Like putting Prize in, was Prize my highest scoring player? He was. So Prize was my highest scoring player. If I had kept Mitchin instead, I would have had 11 less points. I would have had 49 points. It would have been a disgrace. The two Gen G guys, you know, 9 and 11. I'll take that from Munchkin and Foxy 9. That's fine. Kess only with 2. Again, don't lose 2-0. Luxo did manage to get 9 points. Again, getting an ace. Flyer had a disaster, only getting 1 point. So not great there. But I do want to talk about Price, because I know a lot of you will have Apex players as well, right? Could Apex beat Koi? Yeah, I think playing your Apex players maybe isn't the worst decision in the world this week either. So let's talk first about who I'm going to transfer out. And I think I am looking at these Paper X players. They play Talon this week and the final week for Pacific, and Gen G play against Nongshim. So overall, I'm just feeling a bit better about Nongshim Gen G than I am Paper X versus Talon. You know, I think it's somewhat close, but after last week, I think I am leaning more in towards Gen G, although I do think Paper X will still win. I just, yeah, feel a bit better. And if I get rid of something in Forsaken, that is more money that I have to spend, so I can bring in better players than if I was to get rid of the Gen G guys. So, with that in mind, I was looking around at who I should bring in, and one of the roles I need is a controller player, right? So I'm getting rid of Forsaken, so I need to get a controller, and I was looking at, you know, the available options. Kiko plays against Fnatic this week, which, you know, it is Kiko. He's one of the most consistent players, but, you know, that's a tough game. I don't think Liquid will win. Then you've got, you know, Forsaken, who I've got. Karen, obviously, I can't get. Chronicle, again, plays Team Liquid. Not the best game, and Chronicle hasn't been popping off too much. And I think Bang is probably my best option here, right? I think Sen, they've got EG and 2G. Also, shout out to Fabio for making this, by the way. It is really cool, and it looks cool, right? So, you know, and Bang, you know, has been a steady points machine, right? 8, 10, 12. Pretty good overall. So, yeah. Against EG and 2G, I think Bang is probably my option, which then gives me 14 to spend on a duelist. So, looking at that, 14 to spend on a duelist. And again, I could have gone maybe for a 15 and gone for cheaper there, but I don't love Kayak against Liquid this week. You know, it could go either way, that one. Hyunmin, again, like, would be a good option now, but again, they've only got 1 week left to play Pacific, so we're looking out of Pacific. And so I'm really between probably Miniboo, Durka, or Cryo Cells again, and I've talked about these guys now. Cryo plays Loud and Lev, 2 games that I think 100 Thieves will win, so that is an option. Durka plays against BBL and Vitality, against BBL and Mate, sorry, which is okay, but I don't love it. But Miniboo, I think I trust the most. Against Foot and Giants, I think that's where I'm leaning right now, and I think that's probably my best option. So those are going to be my 2 transfers. So we're going to get rid of Forsaken here. We're going to transfer him out, and we're going to bring in Bang. So boom, boom. The in comes Bang. Double send now, and then something is going to go out, and we are going to bring in your boy, Miniboo. I know he had the terrible whiff, but he did actually have a good game otherwise. And that is going to be, yeah, that's going to be my transfers done. Then in terms of who I want on the bench, now this is quite interesting, right? Because bench-wise, I do want to bring Mitch in, right? So Mitch is coming in, and Prize is certainly going to the bench, right? So that one I'm sure of. But I think I do have a bit of a conundrum here. Do I play Olizera or Flyer? And that is an actual conundrum now. I have been a Koi fan this whole time, so I think I'm going to stick with Koi, and I'm going to stick with Flyer. But again, if you're in a similar spot to me, Olizera is probably a bit of a better fragger than Flyer, so you definitely could go Olizera if you want. I think I'm going to stick with that for now. In terms of IGL, I think I'm probably going to go Zekken. But I could go Mini-Boo. It's between those two, right? I think I'm going to slightly go Zekken here. But it could go either way on that one. And, it's fine, I think. But that's going to be my team coming up for week 4. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, if you've got Apex players, this is maybe the week to go and play them. So let me know if that's what you want to do. And I hope you're all enjoying VFL as we go towards the end of this stage.